Hello friends, this video carries a message. This message is for those who are recently experiencing a growth, and when I say a growth, I talk about a spiritual growth. To understand the message that I intend to give you today, I would want to introduce to you a person and I'm using the word person because I do not want to genderize it, whether it is a he or a she. So it applies to both. So I would call the person as Wu. So whenever I use the word he, it applies to she also. This parable that I am sharing with you is from the book Crayon, which has always been a driving force behind me. Wu lived in a house. Now, when I use the word house, it's very symbolic. It's a house of life. He lived in a house, and in the house, he had a special room for himself. And he was very much concerned about that room. Now, when I say concerned about the room is, he was very much, the room was very beautiful. It had all the adequate facilities, amenities into the room. He loved his room. Wu was living a very normal life. A very normal life. He followed the culture, the tradition, the family values. He had enough food, he had enough amenities, he had the clothing, he had the blankets to cover himself, to protect himself. In nutshell, I would say that he was living with all the comforts. During the span of life, he learned a lot of things about himself as well. He learned how to become happy by putting few things on the wall that makes him happy. He learned if he ever had to get sad or wants to become sad, he started dragging out things and putting again on the wall. So he could, looking at it, he gets the memories and he becomes sad. So I can say when you put if you don't have your grandfather, your mother, your father who is passed away, and you hang a picture on the wall, obviously you're not very happy about it. So the emotions that is drawn from that picture is to become sad. So much so that he even learned how to become angry by putting few things on the wall that makes him angry. He had few fears, like we all have fears in life. And his most feared things in life was human beings. He feared changes in life. He feared situations that could make some changes in life or bring changes in life. He feared that I have made this room so beautiful out of all the efforts. So I do not want this room to be changed. So he used to not even call visitors at his place. And if ever he did, he made sure that there is a corner where they will go and settle down, so that the visitors do not disturb the other areas of his room. He was so peculiar about this. Because he was meeting humans, he even learned that there is something called God, and that God loves human, and God is not like human, and God is supposed to be, whenever you have any pain in life, if you want something in life, any desires in life, you can pray to God, and pray, and the praise would be answered, because God loves you. So what he did was he started praying to God, and praying for what? He started praying to God that there should not be any changes in his room or in situations. And God always answered his prayer by making no changes in his room. He even prayed to God that his past should not return, and the future should not make any changes. He even prayed that he does not want to look into the future, because that brings a lot of tensions. So it never happened. One day, when he was at the age of around 26, 27, he felt some movement in his room. And he got scared. He got frightened. And then he remembered, oh, if I pray to God, this would stop. And he did that. And actually that movement immediately stopped. And he prayed because that particular movement in his room was not acceptable to him. So God was good to him. That's the picture that he has. Then again at the age of 36, please remember these ages I'm talking about. Again at the age of 36, the movement returned. He again got frightened. But this time what happened? He could see a door which was not there, and something written on the door. He immediately prayed, and that thing vanished. So his prayer again was answered. Wu went to religious people, maybe a pastor or a priest or whatever you call, and asked or informed what he saw in his room. And he wanted to know the meaning of that movement and the appearance of the door, like we always do in life. Like whenever we see a dream or something, we start checking with people what the dream meant. And every person has got his own way of narrating the dream to you. So people started talking to him. The pastor informed him, see, this is evil. And whatever was written could be very evil, and this is a door of death. So he got scared. He really got scared. So this was the information that he got from the humans. Again at the age of 42, this motion, this movement, this happening again returned. But the only difference was, this time he was not so fearful, which means he had graduated, or he had got a little used to it, and because he had the past experience, so he could hold himself. Though he was not afraid, still out of the same habit, he prayed to God, and again the movement stopped. Now he is 50 crossed. He must be at the age of 50, 52, 54, what's it? He became very ill and he died. Now this is very interesting. He noticed the movement again. He prayed again. But this time the movement didn't stop. That means his prayer was not answered. Instead, it started becoming more clearer, coming more nearer, growing. So he got up from his bed just to realize that he is no more into his body, and the body is still in the bed, and he is into a spirit form. So he realized that the body is not supporting him. The motion continued, came closer, and he recognized, and he was more curious rather. He was not afraid this time. He saw two entities. He saw two entities who came very close to him and said, "Come on, dear, it's time to go. Let's go." And he followed. Wu followed these two entities. It was a very long hallway. And then he realized it was the same door that he saw once, and the door opened. And inside that room were another 3 rooms. He asked these two entities, "What are these rooms?" So he pointed at the first room. The spirit, the entity said, "Go ahead and open it." So this time he was not afraid of the door. He opened the door and went inside and saw jewels. In nutshell, I would say abundance of wealth, money, jewel, everything in that room. He was astonished. He came out. He looked at the other room and he said, "What is in this room?" They said, "You can proceed. Get into the room and see for yourself." He opened the other room. He went inside. And in that room was the energies I would call as peace, harmony, synchronicity, and very soothing. He turned at the spirit and said, "This is a very calm, composed, peaceful room." So the spirit said, "Yes, we know, but you never opened the door. You never opened the door of the abundance. You never opened the door of the peace. Though there were movement, we were trying to tell you." Then he said, what is the third room?" "Well, that is the room where we cannot go along with you. You have to enter yourself alone." So he goes in the third room, and in that third room, I would call that room as the room of enlightenment. He got the picture of all the past activities in his life, his future, past, all, or wisdom, knowledge, all his past incarnations, and you know, so it was a room of wisdom, enlightenment. He turned around and he looked at the entity and said, "Okay, let me ask you, who are you?" They said, we are your guides. We are with you ever since you were born. But we have certain way that until and unless you activate us or you give us a command, we cannot do anything for you. We are with you as per the contract, the blueprint with which you were born on this planet. We tried to come so many times to you, but you always pray to God, who is our master. You prayed and he summoned us to stop, and we stopped. So friends, this story, what I'm talking about, is there are door of opportunities. There are things happening around us. But like we are so comfortable in life. We only love the room that we have. We are so much engrossed into looking at the picture on the wall, which will make us happy, sad, angry. We are very happy with the blanket that we have. We are very happy with the comforts that we have, that we do not come out of the comfort zone, because we always fear change. And the change that we fear are actually the opportunities that are waiting for you. So the conclusion of this story and my video, a message to you is, you need to come out of your comfort zone. You need to recognize every moment in your room. Now, when I say room, it's your life. Like the angels told Wu that you never gave us a command. You never asked. Instead of asking us to answer what was the moment, what was the door, what was behind the door, you always prayed that this is very frightening and this should stop. And we had to stop. Because we love you. God loves you. And we don't want to keep you in that state of, a frightened state. So friends, my message to you through this video is, especially to those who are seeing this moment, the moment like getting up at 3:30 in the morning, all by yourself. People who are getting messages through repetitive numbers, finding feathers, finding coins, your weight gain, your hair loss, all the symptoms that I have explained to you in my previous so many videos of awakening. And many of you must be praying that this thing should stop. And yes, it will stop. Every prayer of you will be answered. But you need to understand, are you praying for the right thing? This question is to you. I leave it to you. It's your free will. It's your free choice. Take it or leave it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope I could send the message across and make you understand that God loves you. Your angels loves you. You have to recognize the opportunities. You have to recognize the door. You need to come out of the comfort zone. if you want to understand. The book from where I removed this parable is called Don't Think Like Humans. Google search, find it out. You'll get the answer. Thank you.